have to realize that people hold these myths to be true. When we try to dispel the myths, we have to be careful not to dispel the individual who believes them. And so we're not attacking the person who sees them and probably from their own experience has some grounding in truth and or had some at some point in time. But it's really about addressing the topic itself, and creating a space for the individuals who within whom you're trying to help facilitate the change or bust the myth to make it happen. So it's designed to not be personal. So the first one is really to identify the myth, and I think we've done a pretty good job so far in this conversation in following these three steps. So the first one is identify the myth itself, seek data and diverse perspectives, and then third is reframe the myth, to be able to make it about the topic rather than about the person who believes it.
It's really about perspective, right? And it's this belief we've created. I remember reading this thing on perspective one time, that the difference between a flower and a weed is just a matter of perspective. So we can just choose to change our perspective about something, and it's actually deciding to choose that, the same way we can choose to be happy, right? Something that seems so difficult, but it really is in our power to choose, no matter what circumstances we're in. And so I think that's really what myth busting is about, is choosing to take a different perspective.
Just as you're describing it, I was thinking this is kind of the foundation of change management. But it's so much of it is the hardest part in identifying the myth. Because it's one thing, it's one thing to want to improve something, but when you want to start that process and you have to confront the assumptions that have kind of permeated through the organization for a long time, this is how we've always done it mentality, to call that out and, like you suggest in the second point, seek the data to support it, to break it away from just commonly held beliefs or opinions that are a part of the culture of the organization, and really confront it and say, this isn't true anymore. How can we get more data to reinforce where there's opportunity to change? That can have such a big impact. But that's where the tension is. And when you're in an environment where there's so many other things happening in your world, the economy is all over the place, the talent market's really hard to navigate, it's easy to go, you know what, like, we need to keep everything the same with our culture right now. So let's not rock the boat, so we can just keep pushing forward. The challenge is it just builds up and it makes it harder to address later on, versus now when you need to prep yourself for whatever's coming next and you have the opportunity to confront it with your organization.